to the KDFL Dynasty Football Podcast. It's your Dynasty Podcast with the league to follow along with. I'm Brett Steele, and joining me this week is the Zenful Matt Smith back from sabbatical.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving. And as our Thanksgiving gift, we have given Mr. Jonathan Detroit Haynes the week off, so he will not be joining us on this episode. So we're going to go through the NFL week that was. We're going to do some KDFL results, and maybe, since the Zenful one is back, a little college football player discussion. So let's get started here. The Thursday night game, we finally had a great primetime matchup to kick off our week. Mr. Al Michaels was so excited that he wouldn't have to sit through another terrible game. And then what do we get with the Bengals and Ravens but an injury fest? We look at it, we lose Burrow, we lose Andrews, Lamar goes down for a bit. I believe OBJ even went down for a bit. Matt, what are you thinking about trajectory-wise now that the Bengals are without Burrow the rest of the season? What do you see this doing for like a Higgins and a Chase?
Yeah, I didn't even know who that QB was that came in. What's his name again?
Chase Browning.
Browning, yeah. And he played for the Vikings. Is that who it was?
He's crazy, right? Yeah.
I think for a few years. I mean, he looked all right, actually. The little bit of time that he was in there on Friday or last Thursday, but it's got to kill Jamar Chase not kill him, but it can't be good for the rest of the year compared to Joe Burrow. And T. Higgins, he hasn't done much this year anyway, so maybe Mixon has a better remainder of the year. But I wouldn't be too happy if I had any of those guys on my team.
Yeah, Jake. I think I called him Chase. Jake Browning. And I heard Detroit. I used the wrong first name. Jake Browning. I think you're looking at a similar situation to Garrett Wilson going from Rodgers to Zach Wilson. Honestly,
which I mean,
he'll have his floor. He'll have his floor, but he won't have these dominant games that you'll see. Yeah, Jake Browning, formerly with the Vikings. So
what is Garrett Wilson's floor right now? I feel like he doesn't.
I think he's good for 8 to 10, right?
Yeah.
Well, I say that coming off, and we'll get to this in a little bit. He just came off his worst game of the season. So
yeah, that just
calling for that as a floor after where we're at with what he just put out there is not very good. But if I'm looking at it, yeah, I mean, look at these last. Yeah, his floor was 9 until this last week. His lowest game before this last week was 9.8 in week 3, and he had a 9.9 in week 5, and everything else was above 13. So yeah, he had a decent. He just didn't have the booms. Like his highest game was 17, so he didn't have the boom games, which is what I think we'll see with Chase, because you're going to get him open. I mean, Browning's not. I think he can push it a little bit. I don't think he's a complete, drop off. I think he's better than Zach Wilson was for the Jets.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, he looked okay.
Because we talk about this, we talk about the backups coming in and them being able to support multiple weapons. I get a little concerned. Like the days of a T. Higgins and a Chase game are gone. I think you're going to get one or the other, more likely Chase. So, and then full disclosure to the fine people. This was the first episode this year that I was not in control of the rundown topics. The Zenful Matt Smith has created our rundown topics, which I'm assuming is how this next topic got on here. Can anyone beat the Ravens? Lamar trajectory. I mean, never put such a line on this rundown.
I'm just saying, like, the Ravens come to Jacksonville Sunday night in, I want to say, not next week. No, it's definitely not this Sunday, but next Sunday possibly. And I mean, the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens are killing everybody. Nobody's coming close to them right now. Lamar is playing great. He's just not scoring the touchdowns, but he did score the touchdown this week. I think he got like 26 points or something. I don't know. Every time he went down, I don't know if you were watching this, but every time he went down, it was a weird going down. It almost looked like he was laying there for like a couple extra seconds, but he got right up and he was fine. Maybe that's just how he is. But the Ravens look absolutely dominant. Like nobody is going to beat them right now.
Yeah, Lamar with 26 points, QB4 on the week. And he lost Andrews early. So it's not like we didn't get to see
Yeah,
him without Andrews. He lost him early. I do think that with the new offense, the way it's working, losing Andrews in the past would have been the same as the Bengals losing Chase or something like that. Like it would have been the same as a team losing their bona fide number one weapon. And Andrews is still that, but I believe they're going to be able to work around it better this time.
yeah.
But you can't convince. I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing the Lamar regular season destroying things and then get waxed the first round of the playoffs when he plays.
I mean, who's the one seed in the AFC now? Chiefs just lost. I don't know who's.
The
They got
Ravens
the same
are
record.
technically the one seed right now, I believe.
Who is?
I believe it is the Ravens. Right? You verify
So
this
I
because we just
mean,
had this.
you go through Baltimore and everything. So
Going through Baltimore, it feels like this is all the time. Yeah, the Ravens are the one seed right now, so technically it would go through Baltimore. Do this all the time. It just feels
I
like
don't know.
the
They're
Ravens do
different.
it. It feels like the Titans did it for a couple of seasons. It's just these great I mean, I'm not comparing the Titans to the Ravens, but
The
okay.
defenses. I mean, they have killed the teams that they're like good teams that they came in to play, and it has not been close. And Lamar puts up points. Who knows? And shout out to the Hurricane Wampus Cats. Patrick Queen had a better game than Roquan Smith last game. Just I'll say one thing I meant to say at the beginning of this story. I'm going to be very zen the remainder of this season because the trade deadline is over. Thank God. That trade deadline in the KDFL is a
You missed the
blessing,
trade
but
deadline episode.
ultimately a curse. It is insane. I missed it, but it's just people go on crack whenever the trade deadline happens,
Oh,
and
crack!
it,
There's our first hit.
there are crackheads in this league. Every year they're itching and fiending. There are a select few that are just over the top every year, and I don't know, but there's not anymore, at least for the next few months. So I can sit back and be zenful, and thankfully I did not make any trades.
All right. So, we'll talk about this. We didn't get your thoughts on the Jefferson from Mahomes. Yeah, well, essentially, I mean, there's picks in there, but we'll call it Jefferson from Mahomes.
I had this further down in the rundown, but I'll go ahead and talk about it. It's a Sunday night game, but there's some
Okay.
Justin Jefferson recent news that came out.
Oh
My
yeah.
health is more important than fantasy football. I will return when fully healthy. I don't care about your fantasy teams. You hear that, South Hills Evil Empire? You just brought
I,
in a cancer to your
I
dynasty
poisoned Bill in the
reign.
locker room.
You get rid of Mahomes for a guy that thinks this entire podcast is just stupid. So best
Um,
of luck to you. But I mean,
I think it's
yeah,
week
I
14.
get it. I get it. Your health is important, but these guys got to realize they have so much more popularity to their name because of
Jefferson, yeah.
fantasy football. Yeah, Justin Jefferson. Like, I mean, the trade itself, it's almost even. It's really
In my opinion, the real losers of this trade are the other four, we'll call them five contenders. Because it seems like there's going
yeah,
to be five players, because both teams got better without, on paper, at the moment, sacrifice. Like the Midnight Riders plug in a
yeah,
huge need in QB. They're scoring well anyway, but they plug in a huge need at QB. And the Evil Empire can afford to wait for Jefferson to come back, and he comes back for the playoffs,
yep.
in theory, if he
But
does. So both teams don't give up a whole lot of production that
the
they already had and get better.
the Evil Empire, really, really, based on the sample size of 10, 11 games, I mean, CJ Stroud. I mean, we saw what he did this Sunday. This Sunday was a 14-point performance, 3 interceptions. Who'd they play? The Cardinals? Is that right?
Cardinals. Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Did you
Are you ready? We can
did you
transition right
get
to
rid
that.
of your guy? Did you get rid of your guy a little too early for the next phenom CJ Stroud that teams might figure out. And maybe the Jaguars just kick that ass this Sunday. And then you question everything and your team falls borderline out of the playoffs. I don't know.
It
Just
would be.
saying.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that later because it would have been out
Oh,
of the playoffs if he wasn't in the NFC South of the KDFL.
hey, it's great. It's a great division.
Hey,
So
I'm with you.
keeping me alive.
Yeah. All right, we'll go. We'll jump right since we mentioned CJ Stroud. We'll jump right into because it was part of the one p.m. game, so we can talk about that. The Texans do keep winning. It is nice to see them able to get a win with Stroud having the 3 interceptions. The Cardinals are better than their record shows because it is, obviously Murray back. But Tank Dell leading the wide
Yeah.
receiver group again is the third game this year over 25 PPR points. He had 8 catches for 149 and a TD, and it was a deep bomb. It looks like, this is a legitimate offensive force. Like we've reacted on here before, if they can support 3 weapons, I think the answer is going to be yes. Now, Cardinals defense is not good, but routinely on weeks, I think the Texans can support this.
Yeah. It's short. I mean, hold on. The 3 you're just talking about is who?
That's true. Well, Noah Brown, but Noah Brown was not there.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
3 would have been Nico, Noah Brown, and Tank Dell. But Noah
Gotcha.
Brown wasn't there. So we do need to see more weeks of all 3. I mean, asking 3 fantasy options is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a big task. Okay. Not much more on that. Kyler basically playing to try to get his team. Now he is giving the Cardinals a choice because I mean, do you think if they're up there that they still have to go with one of the 2?
Yeah.
They look vastly better
I
offensively with Kyler in there.
I think they already have to have something in mind. Like, is he really playing? Like I don't. They have the top. I keep forgetting that trade. Yeah, they have the top. They have the Texans pick and their pick.
Right, which the Texans pick is not going to be.
Yeah, it's not
We thought the Texans were nuts for doing that at the time, and it turns out to be a pretty decent deal now.
I don't. I mean, I don't know. That is tough to.
The problem is what can you get for him with the money he's owed?
Too. So
yes,
keep Kyler and get Marvin. So
yeah, be interesting to see. Okay, let's see. Let's talk
Steelers
about
Browns.
Steelers Browns. No, that's good. That's where I was going. Matt Canada gets firing. Now, the main point from this to me is that it's all on Kenny Pickett now.
Yes, it is.
You don't get any more excuses now. Like you got to do it. Like your one excuse is taken away. It's all on whether or not, if he comes out here and stinks and just doesn't throw it to the middle of the field and all that stuff, then alarm bells. It really is big alarm bells going on in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think this is I think this might be a case of let's fire him, see how Pickett does. If Pickett continues to suck, they are moving on from him next year. I do not see Pittsburgh being I do not see them being that patient with him. Pittsburgh's a known winning team. I think he's gone if he keeps sucking for the rest of this year. But I just want to see what it does for the rest of the playmakers on the offense. Deontay Johnson, selfishly George Pickens. But the running game has gone better. Jaylen Warren, I mean, he only had 9 carries, but he's back-to-back 100-yard games. The running and Najee. I was looking at Najee. Najee's actually had a decent few performances in the past month or so. So, but the receivers have no chance right now. Like, I mean, Pickett throws 8 completions in the game. Like, there's no way any of those receivers are going to be relevant, or even Pat Fryermuth. Was he back Sunday? I know he's back now.
Yeah, he's back now. If he was there, I think he was.
He didn't do anything if he was there, but
yeah.
I don't know. We're seeing how Pickett.
The main thing is, yeah, he was there. He had 1 point. He had 1 catch on it for 7 yards. That one didn't make it. That high scoring affair didn't make it around the red zone too often on Sunday.
Yeah, but the Browns. I mean, the Browns' defense they're playing elite. I just don't know.
This is the 2000 Ravens, man.
Yeah, no, like who for fantasy wise, who do you start on the Browns offense? Like, who are you comfortable with putting in your lineup?
I think you're fine
Anybody?
with your run forward as an RB2 or a
Yeah, I mean,
flex
I have to
option.
run for it. I mean, I spent all my fab on him on some of the leagues, but
Yeah,
he's been all right. He hasn't been,
he's a consistent 10. I mean,
yeah,
every game he started, he's had around 10. He had one stinker in week 8 for
yeah.
5. But that was when he was wasn't healthy fully. But yeah, I mean, I'm worried. Mark Cooper is big alarm bells right now.
Um,
Um,
Joe Flacco could win another championship in the year 2023,
what are we
2024.
doing? Yeah, what are we
I
doing
mean,
calling? I mean, Joe Flacco. Can you imagine he gets
that'd
another one? He gets one with the Ravens, and then he gets
be
one with his Browns
hilarious.
defense.
Be hilarious.
I mean, just don't turn the ball over. And when we need you to in the fourth quarter, heave that thing 45 yards and get that PI. That's what we need.
Yeah, be great.
Um, yeah, I do agree. We need more. We need more Jalen Warren. We need this to be
Yeah,
Kamara and Ingram with Kamara, just with Warren doing the Kamara role, and just more of it. It was the only explosive thing from the game, the whole game.
yeah.
So definitely looking for more Jalen Warren. Now let's talk about your old found Raiders. I don't know where we're at on this tumultuous
Newfound.
relationship.
Yeah, great
Um,
relationship. Nothing happened.
rekindled flame. Um, AOC, I didn't get to watch play in and play. I watched a decent amount. What did we think? How did he look? What were your
He did
thoughts?
not look good. He looked exactly like a rookie would look that was drafted in the 4th round. I mean, he had a good pass to Devontae Adams. It was pretty deep. But just overall, I think the Raiders definitely could have won that game if they had a different number 4 starting for that game. But I mean, the Raiders' defense did look really good. I thought the Dolphins could have taken them out. Like the Raiders overall are just playing much better, but Aiden O'Connor was not the guy on Sunday. But he's a rookie, so
All right. I mean, yeah, holding that Dolphins team, and of course Pierce, defensive background. Holding that Dolphins team to 20 points at home
yeah,
is pretty impressive. I mean, that's the big takeaway for me if you're a Raiders fan. I mean, you follow 5-6. I mean, I don't really know what your expectations are the rest of the season, but I think just putting a good product out there, seeing what Pierce does, and see if that's the way we want to go. Now, right now, are you on board with Pierce removing the interim tag and just keeping them?
yeah. I mean, compared to what has happened in the past, yes, I am. But I'm also fully on board for Jim Harbaugh. So
I don't think
give
is
Harbaugh the
he in it?
keys. A guy that was proving success.
Okay.
There's an article that came out that he is interested in the Raiders.
I think I saw that
So
because I thought it was a done deal, either
there's
Michigan
no
or
way he
Chicago.
stays at Michigan, right?
I would think not.
There's no way he stays at Michigan.
Right.
I mean, I know we had these. This is deja vu from 3 years ago. Jim Harbaugh is
Yes,
interested in the Raiders. They never called
it
him.
is.
Uh, but I don't know. But then also, if the Raiders go 500, you're not going to have a great pick. So I mean, I still think they would trade up for a QB, but maybe not. Maybe Aiden is the guy for now.
Yeah. It's definitely. I mean, it's a thing to watch out the rest of this. It's the main thing you're looking at the rest of the season. Oh, now
Yeah.
one thing that I have not hit on yet. It was the bye week for the Falcons this week. So not a lot, but I will tell you this: it is absolutely incredible just to get a relaxing Sunday watching the sport for watching the sport's sake, watching the fantasy, having the multiple games up, no stress besides watching your fantasy players perform. And all of Falcons Twitter was relaxing and enjoying it. It was like a holiday amongst us. It speaks pretty sadly to the rest of to how the organization's perceived by the fan base that you're looking forward to the bye week. But and of course, as we said on the podcast last week, they're going to go to Ritter. They made it official. They're going back to Ritter. Heineke didn't win the 2 games he was brought in to win. Absolutely abysmal 3 straight losses. The last win was with me in the stands in Tampa. It was like forever ago. So we'll see. I mean, you're just going to see what Ritter has. And throw the ball out there. Let's play. It's the Saints week. It's the Saints week. It's my favorite week of the season. So we'll see. Not much on the Falcons. Just wanted to get that out there. I could seriously consider just abandoning
I don't.
sports fandom on specific teams.
I wouldn't get your hopes up for this Sunday. Just saying.
My hopes are up for this Sunday.
Pretty
We'll
sure.
talk about it.
Is Derek Carr? I should know this, but is Carr questionable
I think he is still
for the
questionable
game?
at the moment. But if you remember, the last time we saw Derek Carr in
Jameis is
Atlanta,
not projected any points.
yeah, the last time we saw old
Oh
Carr in
yeah.
Atlanta, it was not good.
With the Raiders? Is that the
Yeah,
blowout, like
that was the
45-3 or
blowout.
something?
And Jameis routinely
Yeah.
kills the Falcons.
Yeah.
So we shall see.
I don't
But
think
yeah,
Jameis has
Carr,
projected any points on my team this week.
yeah, he seems like he is. I mean, he's still wait and see, but he's projected right now to play. Cardis.
Uh, okay. I mean, I don't know if he's been practicing.
I thought he was still in the protocol.
He is?
But he's
It's
projected to
late if he
play.
is.
Yeah, I think he's. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, he remains in concussion protocol. This was 2 days ago, but they're still projected in points. But Falcons Twitter is very split on who they want to see, just because the way the Raiders game went last time, and
You want to see
the way
Carr?
I don't know. Well, no Michael Thomas. I ain't worried about this. I'm not worried about these
Michael
Saints.
Thomas?
No Michael Thomas. That
Thomas
man
is
back
on
where he
IR,
belongs.
right?
On the IR
He's on
and should
IR.
be in prison, attacking
Yep.
the blue collar workers of this country.
Prison. Yes. Prison.
Prison.
All right, enough about your Falcons talk. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the QB1 on the week. You may know who that was. Who's QB1?
Asking an audience of one. It is our
You know
boy,
who it is?
Prince, the Prince that
Can we
was
get a call
promised.
in from Detroit? Yeah, who was it? The
It
amazing
is.
T-Law. 34 points on the week. Dominant performance. Some host on here gives away Calvin Ridley pennies on the dollar.
Pennies.
And Calvin Ridley happens to be wide receiver number 1 on the week, tied with Tyreek Hill. Jaguars looked great. I know the Titans suck, but the Jaguars, I also sold my tickets because I've had an exhausting November and I haven't been feeling good. But I might just sell my tickets for the remainder and just make a lot of money and watch the Jaguars continue to win from my couch.
There you
But they look great. Titans look like trash. I don't know if the Titans are really that bad, but the Jags just dominant performance. If Trevor Lawrence keeps playing like that, watch out. Trevor Lawrence, Zen Master.
I mean, this is what we said.
I kind of want to.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, this is what we said in our trade negotiations that with Zay Jones back, Ridley would open the field for him. Why on earth you're having Ridley do what Zay Jones did and taking him out? I don't know why we can't just put some jobber in there and have him do the Zay Jones routes and have Ridley just be able to do what he does. I don't understand that, but it did come before. Now the Titans' pass defense is god awful. It is bottoms of the league, and they were able to exploit that. But yeah, I mean, this is why we look. The Mega Powers got a first out of Ridley. They're confident in our 2024 outlook. But the second won't be too high. So here we are. We enjoy, like I said, a luxurious trade agreement with the Dobermans. It's always been mutually beneficial and respectful, and this is no different. Go Ridley, go!
We'll see.
Smoothest route runner I've ever seen.
What was it? What?
He's the smoothest route runner I've ever seen, Mr. Calvin Ridley.
He looked great. So hopefully it continues. I want to point out this one stat. One QB, they played each other. One QB, 21-36, 260 yards with 2 touchdowns. The other QB, 27 of 40, 322 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's pretty obvious to see what QB won that matchup. And it was Jordan Love beating the amazing MVP of the year, Justin Herbert, who is now 4-6 on the year. Thoughts on the Chargers' current state?
I don't know how Ross Staley's still there. I don't understand this. Look,
Fire him right now.
I would fire him. Yeah, get him out of there. What's the point? What are we
Who you
doing?
gonna put Kellen Moore, head coach?
Yeah, interim head coach. I don't care. I wouldn't. I don't get bringing in Bill like those rumors next season.
The what?
Bringing in Belichick. Those rumors next season.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, this is the new hotness. The Commanders or the Chargers.
I keep hearing Commanders.
Well,
I
but
didn't hear the
you would
Chargers.
think Bill needs a situation. He loves California apparently, and he needs a situation with a great quarterback or a good quarterback. So, but
That'd make more
again,
sense for him to go there than the Commanders. But I
I
just
would
figured
agree.
the Commanders owner would give him an insane contract or something.
Now, I know I've been big on we've crowned Herbert way too early. Like we've given him way too many awards that he hasn't actually. We've given him a lot of "but if this" awards. But if that, but if this, but then this happened. But this one was pretty bad. Not on him. Like this one was the
Oh
most
man.
not on him I've seen. The drops,
Sure.
Quentin Johnston. No, why, dude? Oh, it was so wide open. Quentin Johnson, that might be it. Like it'd be
Yeah.
great to see him come back from this, but that's hard to come back from that. You kind of get your spot. You got a game-winning touchdown. It was right there in the breadbasket. So, I mean, Eckler's dropping stuff. Keenan Allen's dropping balls in the end zone. It was a group catastrophe, basically.
Eckler is an old man now. He's officially an old man. I saw something on X saying
Yes, the video.
showing this is in normal play speed.
Yes, this is
And it
not.
was
Yeah.
just Eckler just looking like I think one of the comments was he looked like Eddie Lacy out there with the way he was
Yeah, like,
uh,
let's see.
poor
Do we
Chargers.
have?
Hate to see it.
We don't really have a lot for the 1 o'clocks. I think that pretty much overall. I mean, it pretty much wraps up all
Yeah.
the
Yeah, they
There's a
did.
few other games. I mean, DeVito gets a big win. Howe has a decent game as well, but with his running, but the throwing was really bad with the 3 picks.
That running, yeah, his running plays. He is a freaking tank. He
Yeah.
just doesn't go down. It's insane. Well, it's hilarious watching it. You would never expect it from him, but
Now, the 4 o'clocks, not a whole ton out there
yeah.
with the 4 o'clocks. Well, I said last week that if I'm a Niners fan, I'm not worried about the Seahawks at all. They seem to come back down. Do you have? I mean, do you have any hopes for the Seahawks winning a playoff game? Let's start there.
No, I can't imagine that they do. And making the
Okay.
playoffs is good for them, but to win one, I don't see it happening.
And we do get Purdy. I mean, it is pretty dominant right now. Ayer looked great. This one, CMC didn't have to do,
Yeah.
didn't have to move mountains, but Ayer looked phenomenal. Kittle again. It's just firing on all cylinders. The main thing, it's only injury. I feel like is all we're holding our breath about with the Niners. Now,
Yeah.
I will say this right now because they're both coming off impressive wins. We'll talk about the other one here in a minute, but it's more than likely going to be in Philadelphia, the NFC Championship game. If play it out the way it is right now, the Eagles are pretty dominant. Right now, you're at that game, Niners on the road in Philly, NFC Championship. Who are you taking right now to win that game?
Taking the Eagles. I mean,
You
the
still taking
Eagles
the Eagles?
they didn't look that great on Monday night, but I think it's the rain. And
Oh yeah, I don't care about.
conspiracy me says they switched that turf for a reason. I don't want to hear some stupid concert made them switch the turf. But wasn't there a cleat debate? What Super Bowl was that with the
Yeah,
cleats?
it's this one.
It was this
Yeah,
one
this
that we
one.
just had.
Godfather.
And it was ridiculous. Damn
Yeah,
Chiefs.
the Godfather.
I'm not concerned. The Eagles are dominant. I don't care. Nobody's beating them. I
I
don't
mean,
think.
we could jump to it, and we'll jump to it, and then we'll do it real quick. Sean Payton, whatever, Sunday night game looks fine.
And I'll
He
say
seems
whatever.
he seems to be. Let's see, what does our rundown say? Brett's favorite coach, Sean Payton, continues to impress with the Broncos winning another, beating the Vikings. This is not my favorite coach.
They lost by 7. They gave up 70. He was a laughing joke. Kevin James memes, all that. And just he's completely turned around. He's coach of the year right now.
Wow.
I don't want to say coach of the year, but he is if there was a comeback player coach of the year, I mean Sean Payton is
Comeback. Hey, comeback coach of the year is an awesome award.
Yeah. Yeah, coaches come and go all the time. Definitely wouldn't go to McDaniel's ever. But Sean Payton, I mean, the Broncos were a joke the first 4 games of the year or whatever. Now what? They're 5-5 for the record.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got to give the guy credit. The team hasn't changed; it's the same players.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely look better. I mean, because it was as bad as it could have looked. So, I mean, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. I mean, they only put up 21. Let's relax.
Yeah,
They had 9 points at half. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely looking better. You have to give a little bit of credit there. Now, let's go to the Monday night game with the Eagles and the Chiefs. I don't care so much about how the teams looked because it was a sloppy game. Like I said before the game kicked off, we're getting all the promise of these primetime games, and we get injured Bengals, Ravens, and we get this nasty game in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Now, I will say beating the Super Bowl champion Chiefs with A.J. Brown with 1 catch that's pretty impressive to do it that way.
I don't know. I don't know that you can look at that game too much, though, and take a whole lot out of it because it was pouring the rain.
Yeah.
I mean, I just hope that's not a damn Super Bowl rematch. I'm not going to watch it.
I do too.
I mean, I guess I'll watch it, but
I'm not going to want to hear this guy. This is I'm moving to Canada version of the NFL football fan.
So sick of the damn Chiefs, and it's going to be nothing but the amount of commercials for this freaking
the Kelsey
brothers and Taylor.
T-Swift. She should do that.
I have zero desire to watch that rematch. I'll watch Royal Rumble 1995 replay.
Classic. 1 foot down. That's second hand. HBK, shout out. 1 foot down. I wasn't one thing. This is random from this game, but I got to stand up for it. That MVS drop, that's a hard catch. I feel like he's being destroyed for this drop. It's nowhere near as bad as the Quentin Johnson drop. MVS has struggled with drops in the past, but that was a hard under the lights, rainy, wet, a little bit of an overthrown ball. I know Mahomes kind of took up for it a little bit and said he overthrew it some, but I just saw him getting dragged, and I was like, that's not an easy catch. Like it wasn't. He didn't have to lay out for it or anything like that. But I didn't think it was some. You cost us the game by dropping that.
Did you see that stupid jumping touchdown pass that Mahomes threw?
Yeah.
It was I don't even think he needed to jump right there. What are we doing? Oh my God, greatest player of all time. So stupid.
Oh, that's it for the breakdowns of the games. Now, are you ready for the return of your?
Hold on. Player? Yeah, 1 second. Okay, yeah. All right, I'm ready.
Take it away.
What's I keep forgetting this. It's called the Fantastic Future Awesome Rookie Talents. Future Awesome Rookie Talents.
Yeah.
All right. So this guy, the next guy, you did not have one last week, right?
Making sure. Your sabbatical, we did not.
So this guy may look like part of a star quarterback, boasting elite size, arm strength, great athleticism, playmaking. He controls the ball well enough to feather it between defenders or quickly rifle a bullet to beat closing windows. His tools and play style are incredibly similar to the greatest QB of all time, Justin Herbert. But he does have a little bit of concerns. As far as turning over a little bit and stuff. I can't get my sorry. Decision playmaking has led to head scratching turnovers throughout 2 seasons of starters as a starter. But he would be the QB1 in most draft classes if it wasn't for Caleb Williams. So the QB that I am talking about is obviously Drake Maye from North Carolina.
All right.
So let me look 1 second. Okay, so I don't know. Is this basically similar to our Caleb discussion where we are getting rid of everyone?
All right, next. Because okay. Here's my caveat with this one. My main caveat is I need to see where he goes because it very much this one it affects of
So let's look at
who I
the
keep.
current NFL
The last one
2020
I was the last. I mean, these mock drafts change all the time, but the Giants. If he goes to the Giants,
with Dayball. Yeah.
yeah. If he goes to the
But
Giants,
yeah,
that's a plus in my book.
I think so too. Let's see. Hold on.
Now, if he ends up in Chicago, something like that,
I mean, I think
now we're skipping.
Chicago, if they're getting QB, they're getting Caleb, I would think.
You would think.
Because let's see, the
Well, it could go
current
Cardinals and then
second
Bears.
team, it won't be the Titans. They're the worst team in the AFC right now. Surprising. No, the Patriots. Could be the Patriots.
I don't like that either. That would be a minus.
Patriots, Giants, Cardinals, Bears. That's Patriots, Giants, Cardinals, Bears is what we're looking like right now.
Is the Giants not the going away favorite where you'd want one of these guys to end up?
I still think the Raiders are going to move up for a QB too, though.
Okay, we can't. We got to operate in.
Yeah, I know.
I
So
think
what,
if
Patriots?
yeah, boo boo.
Anyway, whatever. We. So in this situation, he gets to a good. Whoever drafts him is going to bring in some smart young offensive guru that
We're putting him in a positive situation. Okay, I'm with you.
Yes, fan favorite number 2, Justin Roach would suggest for his ideal coach. So, gotta get a young guy we never heard of that's awesome. There we go. All right, so let's go over.
I've learned I need to temper this a little bit because I get a little wild with these apparently.
All right, I'll just go with these orders. Jared Goff and Sam Howell.
No, I'm going.
You're taking him, right?
Yeah.
Dak Prescott.
See, now we're at it already because Dak's been on the heater.
He is, but he's also 30. He'll be 31.
Yeah, Dak also has like we talked about multiple times on this podcast. I'm not calling it fool's gold because he is playing very well, but this schedule is very conducive to good QB play right now.
So what was your answer? You're getting rid of Dak? I think I'm getting rid of Dak.
I'll probably keep it Dak. That's heartstrings, though. That's
yeah, I know.
That's heartstrings. I almost need to be recused from that one. That's tough.
Brock Purdy.
Ah, there you go, Drake. You go, Drake Maye.
Brock's 24.
Yeah, it's not an age thing.
I think you got to go. Yeah, just for potential. Yeah, I think you got to go. Yeah, get rid of Brock.
It's just Brock's. It's nothing to do with the talent. It's the situation you'll find yourself in. You're going to be probably your team is awful on defense. The team that he goes to is probably terrible on defense. He's going to have a lot of awesome game scripts, and he's going to have stability behind him. Shanahan does not care. Obviously, look who's in there right now versus who could have been in there. He doesn't care about draft capital. Don't work out. You just move on. Something happens with Purdy somewhere along the way. You just move on. So for stability's sake, you got to go Drake. And I put myself in the mind of the draftee right now. The Kings offer pick 1.2 Purdy. They're going to turn it down.
Yeah, I think they would too. Yep. Yeah. Kyler Murray.
I think you got to go Drake Maye.
I do too.
That sounds so.
Trevor Lawrence.
Ah! Oh,
I'm keeping Trevor. Don't care.
this is so heartstrings. Trevor.
Trevor is 24 years old. QB1 on the week. QB1 on the week.
Tommy DeVito was like QB4 on the way.
Nah, I don't give a shit. Trevor. Yeah, Trevor
Um,
will be an MVP in this league.
I would go. I would keep Trevor as well.
But I think it's bogus that Trevor is number 11 on this current list that I'm looking at anyway. It's not the normal list I look at, but
ain't been great. Quicker. It ain't been great this year.
Justin Fields.
Oh, I have Drake Maye.
I got Drake Maye too. I mean, Justin. Who knows where Justin will be next year? Drake Maye might get drafted to take over Justin Fields.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, or Kyler Murray in the random world.
All right, this is a good one for you, Anthony Richardson.
Oh. That almost has, what's so funny is that almost has nothing to do with Drake Maye. Yeah, in a weird way. It almost like, do you want to cut bait on these injuries at the beginning? Or do you, in a positive situation, I think I would go Drake.
Drake? I think I would too. I think Anthony just, as great as he can be, I think you're just always going to have the concern.
I think it's going to be I think it's Cam Newton, like the best case.
Yeah.
Cam Newton. And he's just always going to have a little something going on.
I don't know why Trevor is ranked 11th and Tua is ranked 8th. That's just my bias, I guess.
Tua is a front runner for MVP right now.
Who is?
Tua.
Nah, screw him. Whatever.
Whatever. Who cares? Who cares?
He's front runner for MVP. So biased.
In your Jacksonville hat, he was until these last couple of weeks. He's struggling. Your Jacksonville hat.
They're done.
Nobody cares what they see.
Nobody cares about Mike McDaniel. It's over. Nobody's scared of the Dolphins anymore. They got killed by the Bills, and then their fairy tale story went away. Anyway, Tua or Drake?
Drake Maye is proving to be. By the way, this is starting to be like I've cooled on Caleb, but not to get off topic, but I've cooled on Caleb as well. These are almost interchangeable now. When before I was basically giving away my firstborn to get Caleb. We cooled on that. We cooled on that too. So, I'd keep Tua.
Tua still concerns me about injuries too, though.
You're talking about the max situation. You're talking about an incredible situation.
Yeah, it is. That is true. I think I got to keep. I think I got to keep.
But I mean, you could be seeing Tyreek Hill. What was his clock? Isn't his clock this year or next year?
This list is disgusting looking. Joe Burrow. I'm keeping Joe Burrow. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm keeping Joe Burrow. I don't know.
Number 6.
We need to start creeping in with the Joe Burrow. No, I'm not out, but he gets hurt.
What happened on Thursday? He looked fine. And then I was watching it, but I was with some people. Burrow, I saw him grabbing his hand, then he went to the sideline, tried to throw it, and could not throw it at all. What the hell happened? Did he get hit?
Yeah.
Like get a play before the one
where they think it was already hurt because the Bengals deleted that video of him with the brace. Which, by the way, that makes not showing Bijan or not saying that Bijan has a migraine look like nothing when you delete the video of the brace. They're gonna have to figure that out, the NFL and the injury stuff, because it is a betting league now, more so than ever, and you can't have that. And then he tries to throw it. That camera shot of him trying to throw it is as bad as anything could possibly look. So I'm not like Burrow is awesome when he's out there, but he does have we're racking up a little bit of the injuries now.
He is, but he is great when he's out there. Number 6, above Joe Burrow. Can you want to take a guess? Absolute joke.
Above Joe Burrow.
He's new.
That you'd be mad about? CJ.
CJ Stroud at number 6.
That's an interesting one. Because it's brand new, but it is. Seen it a little bit. I don't know what I'm doing there, honestly.
I mean,
in my head, I'm doing these. Drake Maye is in New York. when I'm doing
you
this. He's in the
can't
Giants.
you can't look at 10 games and say, "Oh, I know this guy's going to be a Hall of Famer." Like, um, I don't know, but that one's tough. Like, and what would the guy that's picking second right there do if somebody offered him C.J. Stroud? Yeah, I've been saying
Uh,
that Caleb went first. I'm just in this hypothetical situation. I don't know.
I think I'd do
Stuff.
Drake May
I,
because
yeah,
here's my issue with Stroud. This is going to sound so nitpicky, but it's what we have to do when we're getting in these tight areas. He's not going to run. He doesn't
yeah.
run. I don't know how often May will run. In the NFL, stuff changes, but it's not
Yeah.
so. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I'm going Drake. Screw you, CJ.
See, I would flip
Uh,
it. That's a coin. Like, that is the coin flip to me.
Lamar Jackson. I'm going with Lamar. I sold my soul for Lamar, so I have to keep Lamar.
I'm probably, I'm probably going Drake May just because I don't. I feel like Lamar. When it happens,
Lamar's
it's
a
gonna.
legend.
When it happens, it's gonna be a cliff. It's not gonna be. It's
I
gonna be
don't
a
think
Peyton Manning
so.
style cliff. It's gonna be a man. This guy was great. And it's a weird Lamar and Peyton. You don't get
Yeah.
that comparison very often in the world.
I mean,
It's gonna be like,
if
oh, this guy's great, and then next week, oh my God, the Monstars have taken his powers, and now he's nothing.
I think Lamar and Vic are comparable. I do. Lamar and Vic. You think they're
And it
comparable
fell off a cliff.
QBs?
Yeah.
How old? I know he's
Well, I
saying
mean,
a
we did
little.
a
He went
little.
on a little.
We had a
He
little.
did a
We had a
little
little
savage.
vacay.
He did a little
Yeah.
sabbatical.
We had a little vacay.
But I mean, he was in Philly in his 30s, right?
Yeah.
When did Vic like stop playing good? I feel like he was in his 30s.
Yeah.
He wasn't that young. Lamar was
Again,
27 years old, 26.9 years old.
I mean, again, we had a couple. We had a bit of rest, and
Sure. Maybe
yeah,
Lamar
Philly
just
in his 30s. It
bag.
was Philly. He kind of really fell off after a year 32.
Okay, so another 5
And I
years
think
of
Vic
Lamar
was.
for him playing.
I also think Vic was a much better passer than Lamar.
Well, I think you're hating. I think you have that. I think you have that old thinking of Lamar in the first in the league, not really throwing the ball. Lamar throws the
Oh,
ball pretty damn well these days. He
these
does.
days, he
Like
says.
I know there's bias coming from me, but he does.
I mean,
He
you're
throws the
talking. I
ball pretty
mean,
well these days. I don't think there's the concern of
I'm
him
probably
throwing
going
the
to be a
ball
little
anymore.
biased
Anyway,
in
okay,
the Vic region as well.
yeah.
Yeah,
Your
Brutus.
everybody's favorite QB, Justin Herbert.
I would keep it.
Okay, are you taking him over Herbert, Allen, Mahomes, or Hurts?
Yeah,
I'm thinking no. I'm not
yeah.
taking him over any of those guys. So
That was fun.
none of the top. What?
That was a fun one.
Yeah, it's tough. I just want to see trades happen. Anybody that has these guys, I'm already not trading Trevor and Lamar. So you guys that have the other top 10 QBs, I want to trade. I
I'm
want one of
trying to
these
think,
trades
like,
to
if I
happen.
get my quarterback, I'll give you this quarterback. See, I think in Dak and Anthony Richardson, I think if I try to offer it, they say no.
I don't know about
Richardson would
Anthony.
be. I
I
think
think
Dak, they say no. Like, let me get the bias
I
out.
think
They say
Dak
no.
they say no unless
Right.
you're in a unique situation. You got an early draft pick and you're a Super Bowl, you're a major contender right now.
We're getting ready to transition into KDFL anyway, so let me just say this. Dak's role on the mega powers is different than his value in an open team market. He is very crucial to this team that has two quarterbacks in Watson and Richardson. That I don't know that I'll ever see a full fantasy season out of either one of them again. So I need the Dak
Yeah.
stalwart. I'll get you 20 points. So he's more valuable to the mega powers in the role than he is. That's why if you try to trade for him, Charlotte Kings, the value gets a little inflated. It's not normal 1-for-1 trading. It's just because you need that stability, and that's what he's been. So it's a little different in the mega powers case, and that's where I'm thinking from.
You just
So
You just love the man. You don't gotta tell us
Dakota
all about him.
Rain found him
Yeah,
in
it's
the
all right.
abyss.
Yeah,
I
it's all right.
saw I saw him at Mississippi State. I saw Tony Romo, a walking accident waiting to happen, and we jumped on it and it worked
Yeah, everybody should have probably done that.
out.
Me and the Wampus Cats, we're not in the league, so
All right.
rest of you guys, no
All
excuses.
right. Are you
All
ready?
right, we're ready. I will try
Let's
not
shift
to
it up
cough.
to
We do not
KDFL.
have we do
All
not
right. The
have
captain, look, we're captainless. The man has done what the man's done it again to us. All right. The captain is like the father that comes home after running around on his family for a couple of years. He comes home, daddy's back. Christmas is going to be all together. It's going to be great. There's going to be one happy family again. He's going to contribute. And then the captain just goes out for milk and cigarettes. Don't hear from him again. So the captain's recaps are on on leave again this week. So Matt, with that being said, let's get it
yeah.
going with our Week 11 results in the KDFL.
All right. We start out with the 7-3 Renegades traveling to the Sunshine State to battle the resurging 3-7 Mega Powers. The Renegades start out strong with Joe Mixon scoring 21 points, but unfortunately for the Renegades, that ended up being their top offensive scorer. Dak Prescott and Rachaad White leads the way for the Mega Powers, each with 18 points. Ultimately, this game came down to 13 points, deciding the outcome. The difference being the Renegades kicker, Jake Elliott, scoring a total of 3 points, while the Mega Powers, Tyler Bass, scored 16 points. What a kick to the future playoff seedings as the Renegades fall to 7-4 and the Mega Powers rise to 4-7.
All right, next we go to Kanawha County, where the 6-4 Kings are hosting the 3-7 Giving Up on Life Gamblers. And it is the aforementioned Mr. Brock Purdy with a perfect QB rating, scoring 30 points to lead the way for the Kings. And Khalil Mack on the defensive side for the Gamblers adds 30 himself. And Tommy DeVito for the game of his life for the Gamblers adds 26. And that revenge game for Brandon Ayuk. It's a gambler's nightmare. He scores 27, and the Kings get the close victory in a crucial matchup. They win 241 to 236.
All right, next with River Rats, take the 44-minute drive west to take on the Wampus Cats and Hurricane, which no one really expected to be a close matchup. However, the River Rats get strong performances from Jahmyr Gibbs with 22 points and Jordan Love with 23 points. Jameson Williams reminds everyone that he is still alive, scoring 12 points. The Wampus Cats get a strong performance from Justin, 4-6 record Herbert with 28 points, and the Browns brothers, AJ and Amon Ra, each scoring 19 points. As hard as the River Rats tried, not enough to pull off the upset. River Rats fall to 4-7. Wampus Cats get a much-needed win, going to 6-5.
Right. Next, we have the 4-6 Wake Forest Lumberjacks traveling to America's hotspot, Marmet, to take on the Midnight Riders. And the Lumberjacks get off to a hot start with Antoine Whitfield on the defensive score in 23 for Wake Forest. But Tyreek Hill, he was in the game, he was out of the game, he's back in the game. He scores 31 as he continues his historic season. And Tank Dell, a nice rookie draft pickup for the Midnight Riders, explodes for this one for 29. And it's old man Keenan Allen for 28. While Puka Nacua does what he can for the Lumberjacks, scoring in 19, it is not enough as the Midnight Riders, in the league's most underappreciated rivalry, take out all the anger, all the frustration of the constant disrespect served to them from the Lumberjacks and the captain. The Midnight Riders take them to the woodshed, winning 319 to 204.
All right, next up, the Sinners travel to the Zen Masters. Fans of the show probably wonder why we would even go over this 8-2 versus 2-8 matchup. Sinners projected to win by 25 points. Just move on, get it over with. Well. The Zen Masters start out the matchup strong, scoring 44 points from Lamar Jackson and better than Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen. Sinners tried to come back with 18 points from Tony Pollard and 16 from 80-year-old DeAndre Hopkins. But QB1 on the week, as mentioned before, Trevor freaking Lawrence in Stone Cold Steve Austin's voice said, nah, scoring 34 points. The Zen Masters shocked the nation. Last place team beating the first place team by the 25 points the Sinners were expected to beat them. It's an ultra Zen Thanksgiving week this week for the Zen Masters. Better luck next time, Sinners.
All right. All right. In our week 11 game of the week, we have the 6-4 Dogtown Dobermans traveling to the defending champions, but 5-5 South Hills Evil Empire. The newly acquired Calvin Ridley leads all players, and as we noted before, all wide receivers with 31 points. But the Evil Empire stalwart, the old bell cow back down South Hills, Saquon Barkley adds 30 of his own. Fred Warner on the defensive end gets it done for the Dobermans with 27. And Jalen Hurts tries what he can in the pouring rain. He's tush-pushed. He's thrown all over the place. It's not enough if he can only add 18. And the Dobermans send the Evil Empire to the losing record department as they win 244 to 226. And that is it for your Week 11 KDFL results. Let's throw our predictions up on the big board now. You can see Detroit yet again wins the week, going 4-2. Matt and myself both go 3-3. NFL picks: Detroit misses on the lock of the dog. Matt hits his lock with his Raiders covering the 12.5. And for the first time all season, yours truly with the clean sweep hits the lock with the under 41.5 for Tampa Bay. San Francisco hits the dog for 4 big points with the Giants over the Commanders, and the stealing money parlay with Dallas, Jacksonville, and San Francisco winning improves to still a somewhat sad 5-6. Now, Matt, let's go back to us now. I know we're going to talk about we're getting ready to start week 11 or week 12. One big thing I want to hit on from the KDFL. Obviously, we are starting the division weeks. Oh, these final 3 weeks, you will only be playing teams in your own division. Now, one reason that is important, the commission's Evil Empire is under 500. They haven't been, I don't know if they've ever been under 500 after week 11. Obviously, this new 14-week season is still just a few years old, a couple years old, or a few years old. So I don't know that they were ever under, they've never missed the playoffs, which we'll talk about the division. It's not likely to happen this year. With the division that they're in. There is a chance. It's not likely to happen, but there is a chance of it. But there is the one division we're calling it. Is it the Ben? Is it our hero? The Ben Johnson division, I believe.
Oh, which one?
That's yours. Division. That's yours. Yeah, that is the Carlico division. The Ben Johnson division that all 4 teams are the leaders 8-3, and the next 4 are 7-4. This is the powerhouse division, and since they're all playing each other, I know we'll see it in a second with week 12. It's very unlikely that another team will get game of the week honors. Another pair of teams, because these are huge matchups as we play out. So your thoughts, real quick, on the Evil Empire, and I believe this is a division mate. And I could tell by the way you're talking, I could tell by the way you've been hinting. Somebody doesn't think they're out of it yet.
I mean, you look at that division. You look at that division. The only one that as arrogant as it sounds, the only one that actually has a chance to win that division, I got to get some serious help from the. That's what's going to mess it up this week. The River Rats has to beat the Evil Empire somehow this week. I should beat the Gamblers and the River Rats. I should, based on that way the season, that way I was second in points this week for anybody keeping track of that. Second in points, amazingly. If the Evil Empire somehow lose to the River Rats this week, next week would be me versus the Evil Empire. And then that's also That's where it gets. But the Evil Empire basically has to lose all three, which is going to be very, very tough. And I have to win all three. I think I can win two of the three. Evil Empire losing all three is not going to not looking likely. But I think if a team is going to win this division, I think I have the best chances. And I was the last place team in the league last week. So as crazy as it sounds.
Just as a recap,
It's
your
got to
plan
be
of
a
attack.
miracle.
Your plan of attack is based around the Evil Empire going 5-9 on the season.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Because of points.
Right.
He also has like 600 points more than all of us.
Yeah.
But he has been losing. So, I mean, the stars have been aligned for him to be losing.
Yeah. See, I look at the other way. I'm glass.
Absolute-
You guys have full. I'm glass half empty. I'm like, he's finally got a losing record, and he's in the only division where the losing record isn't a big deal. Let me pull this here. I'm going to do this without the cuts this week because we're going to bring it up. Are you ready to get into it?
Yeah, man.
All right. All right.
What, the previews? Matches?
Yeah.
Matchups?
Yeah, the matchups. Yeah. We're doing it. No cuts. No cuts. Right to it.
We don't need cuts.
No cuts. You don't need your stinking cuts. All right. First up, I have Detroit's picks as well. I have Detroit's picks. All right. First up, we have the 3-8 Gamblers traveling to Nocatee, which is weird because you are in Kanawha County, so I don't know who's going to be at the stadium. It's going to be a weird.
I'll be home by Sunday.
I'll be the story of the Gamblers season. They just don't know where they're at. They don't know what's going on. They're traveling needlessly.
Yeah.
So,
If you look at the matchups this week, they are all very close. I think this might be the biggest point spread of the week.
There's one. The 5-9 Evil Empire have a pretty big point spread.
Oh yeah, I guess they do.
That's on their journey to 4 games under 500. They have
but for this one, I have to win to keep. Keep my small chances alive. DJ Moore and Christian Kirk have to have strong performances for the Gamblers. Like really strong performances. I don't see it happening. I think I win this one pretty easily. Zen Masters get the victory.
I'm looking at this, and Detroit went with the Zen Masters as well. And looking at this matchup, there's not a lot of bright spots on the Gamblers. I mean, there just isn't. The main thing I wanted to see, we talked about earlier, I want to see if Jalen Warren, with this new OC, if he is allowed to get more explosive plays. I want to see how much he can outdo that 12.4 point projection. But yeah, I'm with you guys. I am going Zen Masters as well to get the W. Now, next, we have the 8-3 Sinners traveling to Wake Forest. This spread is a half a point spread to take on the Lumberjacks. Detroit has went with the Sinners to get the win.
Yeah, extremely close matchup. Could the Sinners be falling apart? I mean, you lose to the 2-8 Zen Masters. You were 8-2, so
you have to think about the mental damage that can do to a team.
You better step it up. Just saying, playoffs and all that. It looks like you might lose to the Lumberjacks too. So, Zach's the questions I have on this game. Zach Charbonnet going to produce as an RB1. See how he does. Projected 14. He could have a big game. I like the rookies in all these matchups for the Lumberjacks. But I got to go with the vets and the bounce back for the Sinners, taking the Sinners with the victory.
This is 2 ugly teams right now, to be quite honest. I mean, they're pretty both banged up. You're going to lose Aaron Jones if you're the Sinners. You're counting on right now Keaton Mitchell in your flex. Surely there's somebody else out here that can come along to help us. Gardner Minshew maybe. Come help us, Gardner. You're our only hope. The Sinners right now, they. Ramondre
Stevenson.
He'll come in for Aaron Jones, but I'm talking about the OP position.
Oh, got you.
He'll come in.
So it's not that close. Yeah.
It's not that close. It's not that close. And the Lumberjacks are still getting points for Achane right now, which is probably I don't feel super positive about that happening. So you look at this matchup last time, the Lumberjacks only put up 170 at home. or on the road last time. If the Sooners were playing anybody else, I would lean towards that other team. But with this being this matchup, I am going to go with the Sooners to get the win and possibly put themselves in a position to lock up that division. All right, next we'll get to that in a second. Then next, the doomed evil empire traveling to Elkview 5-6 to take on the 4-7 River Rats. Oddly enough, this matchup is for the division lead right now. If the River Rats would sneak out an upset, they are up top on the division based on them winning this matchup last time. Remember this in week 3, it was a 1.02 margin of victory for the River Rats, one of the closest matchups in KDFL history. And with all that momentum and everything going right, and the River Rats shocking the world, Detroit has picked the Evil Empire to beat him. And I'm pretty sure he wrote beat me soundly, which is a little weird thing from the right, but it happened. What do you see?
I'm just gonna pray to the Zen Master, who they pray to. I'm just gonna meditate for hours that somehow the River Rats can get the power to get this victory. But good Lord, it's not looking good. I'm pretty sure am I under 500 on these picks?
No,
I
you're
gotta
2 games above 500. You were 20.
Hey, screw it. River Rats are winning this. Give me
That's all it took.
Let's
You're being
go,
over
River Rats.
500.
River Rats keeping it strong.
You being
Cooper Cup, he's not playing. Thielen's old. He's
about
worthless. Eckler
worthless.
goes 3 miles an hour. Saquon's going to get injured. Jalen, I don't know. The tush push will not work on Sunday.
Speak it all out.
And no way Taylor's going to be in Vegas to watch Kelsey. She's afraid of the Raiders fans, so he's not going to do anything. Cooper doesn't have anybody to throw to. Yeah, Evil Empire's trash. No way they win this game.
Look, oh, I love it. It took being 2 games over 500 in a fantasy football pick 'em that gave you the green light to go with the upset pick.
Because I mean, yeah.
Look at this. Look, I want to see Christian Watson. He's had obviously a terrible season based on his rookie season. But that Detroit defense is garbage. I mean, Justin Fields just lit it up. So I want to see if the Jordan Love and Watson connection, I want to see if it can go for over 40 points. Right now, it's only projected 25. I want to see if it can go for over 40, given that favorable matchup. But and look at this, I'm going Evil Empire. There's no way they're going to go 2 games under 500. So I'm going to put them at getting 6-6 and getting in the driver's seat of the division.
I think they win the division if they win this game.
Yes.
Yeah,
because they'll go 2 up. Yeah, they would win the division and win this game. They'll go 2 up on the River Rats, and the points differential.
Yeah,
Elkview's been giving it their all, but clock strikes midnight for some of us. All right, next we're gonna go to right here in Melbourne. Another very close matchup, projection-wise. It's the Wampus Cats at 6-5. They're the ones battling it out in the Ben Johnson division with the 3 teams at 4-7 and the Midnight Riders at 8-3. So they badly need a W. Melbourne has been 4-1 in their last 5. It's a 1-point spread. Detroit has went with the Wampus Cats. What do you say on this one, Matt?
Another very close matchup this week. I've noticed Mega Powers have the running back edge. Wampus Cats have the wide receiver edge. Wampus Cats really need this W to stay alive based on what you were just talking about. Kyler Murray has to show up against the Rams. I see you got the 1 QB you're starting.
Yes.
Receivers and the 2 QBs are too strong. I really wanted to go Melbourne here, but based on the receivers and the 2 QBs versus your 1, I got to go with the Wampus Cats getting the W.
Yeah. Looking at this one, I mean, the same thing I'm looking at again is what I've looked at the last few weeks. Trey McBride, I need you to continue to ascend, brother. It's looked great since Kyler's been back. It started looking good a little bit before he came back even. With Kyler coming back, it feels like he's hit the gas. And I just gave you crap for picking the upset because of your record, but we're running out of weeks, and I'm 4 games back to Detroit. He went Wampus Cats, so give me my mega powers to edge out a victory and really send the Wampus Cats in
Yeah,
a
they might be
very
out.
worried place. They fall 6-6, depending on what happens. But the problem is the Ben Johnson division; they're going to beat up on each other. So
Yeah,
it'll stay within. It'll stay
true.
within a game of.
Yeah.
He'll stay within a game of at least one. That's guaranteed. And if the Midnight Riders win, he'll stay within a game of two. So, all right, next we're gonna get our first game in that division here. It is the 7-4 Dogtown Dobermans taking on the 7-4 Roxalana Renegades. Detroit has the Renegades getting the W here. What's the you, Matt?
Yeah, the Dobermans having to start Jay Brown. Jake Browning has to hurt their soul for the rest of the year. That's who they have, right? They just have him and Josh Allen. They have another QB.
No, they do not have
Not
another team.
Burrow out.
No.
It's ugly. It's a huge shift for the Dobermans, I think, for the rest of the year. I feel like that was their strong point, was their two QBs.
Yep.
Anyway, CMC and freshly required Calvin Ridley's got to perform great for the Dobermans to have a chance. Don't think it's going to happen. Renegades are going to get this one.
Yeah. The main thing I'm watching on this one, it's going to be tough, but I do want to see Garrett Wilson with a new with a beautiful new QB in there. Not super optimistic. I don't think it's a huge move from Zach Wilson, but you had to do something, Mr. Boyle in there, so we'll see. But look, I feel bad. I sent him to Shawn Michaels. Second shout out Shawn Michaels on this episode. I sent him the I'm sorry, I love you, but I had to beat the Renegades. It's about honor in this league. The Renegades took a tough loss. It was a close game. I'm looking forward to bounce back here and get back in the W column, move to 8-4. Give me the Renegades getting the W. Now, our game of the week is our highest total matchup with well over 500 points combined. It is the 7-4 Kanawha County Kings taking on the 8-3 Marmet Midnight Riders. Detroit went Marmet in this matchup. Take it away, Matt.
You got to love seeing Brock Purdy is projected to outscore the legend Patrick Mahomes. It's great to see. Screenshot that. Projections are close again, and all these matchups are close. I think CD Thanksgiving Day is going to get the gobbler or whatever. He's going to go off on the football team Commanders. I think Jets are going to contain Tyreek Hill some. Chiefs D might be rough on the Raidens, AOC, and Devontae Adams. So Devontae Adams, Tyreek might not do great. The Kings have the amazing Josh Jacobs and Travis Etienne, great running backs that they somehow got. I have to go Kings in this one. Kings winning, getting the victory.
I don't love these matchups for the Midnight Riders, like you just highlighted. Hill and Adams, those aren't great matchups for them. But the Kings also, Olave is probably going to get Terrell, and that has not been great for wide receivers lately. But CeeDee Lamb getting the Commanders is a big deal, and in honor of the Commode Bowl, I cannot go against Demarion and his pick. So in honor of that, I'm going to go with the Kings to get the W and really get things going in this Ben Johnson division. If we get two teams at 8-4, that would be a guaranteed 3 teams at 8-4 and 1 team at 7-5 if that would happen with the Dobermans and the Renegades going as well. All right, so back to us. I did not forget to stop sharing this week. That's perfect. So Detroit wanted to mention something about not gambling as we go to our end here, but that's stupid. You should definitely gamble. You should risk it up. You only live once. Push that mortgage payment out.
Yes.
Empty
All
out
of
the
it.
401ks.
Bet
It's
the whole
only money.
mortgage
It's
payment.
not real. What's
whole mortgage
the line from Margin Call? It's just something we made up to keep us from killing each other for food. So don't worry that much about money. It's not that serious. All right. Detroit's picks. He has the Philadelphia Eagles -3.5 as his lock. over the Bills, and then he has the Chargers getting the outright win over the Ravens. Do you have your picks? Because we did not get them before.
I do. I have
Oh,
the
thank
lock
God.
of the Commanders plus 12.5 against the Cowboys. That's way too high. That's stupid. 12.5 points. Nobody wants. I mean, Cowboys are good, but I mean, I like Sam Howell will impress us on Thanksgiving Day. My dog, which I think is funny, what was Eagles or Detroit's lock was the Eagles. My dog is the Bills are going to beat the Eagles. Screw you, Detroit. Happy Thanksgiving,
everybody. Okay,
I got to
so.
sign off. Do I do my sign
Oh,
off now?
sorry.
Well, Brett, you suck for Detroit.
Why'd you do it?
Anyway, as I am in beautiful Dunbar, West Virginia for Thanksgiving break, I came across this quote: "Never be defined by your past. It was just a lesson, not a life sentence." Which that sounds a little rough, but uh,
Jesus Christ.
it's just saying, like, your past, just the way certain things are. You can change those and let your brain. Just like my fantasy season, my 2-8 is going to put me in the playoffs somehow. The stars are aligning. Evil Empire is going to come crashing down. So there's a chance for everyone. Goodbye. That's it.
All right. Look at this. I have a lock. Again, I'm doing this complete opposite of my brain. I don't see how the Ravens and Chargers score this much, so I'm going Baltimore and Chargers over 47.5. I have Carolina just outright beating the Titans for my dog. The Stealing Money parlay. Got a little twofer for the people. One is very obvious. It's just the favorites on Thanksgiving Day to give you something to bet with. Just take all three favorites money line. It's like -111, -115, something like that. But for the official Stealing Money parlay, we're going to go Miami money line over the Jets. We're going to go Kansas City money line over the Raiders because they're coming off the loss. And I'm going to go, I tease the line of Cleveland and Denver under 44.5. That's -136. As always, do not forget to like and subscribe to the video. We have the link to the league so you can view it yourself and watch the action as it goes down. It's on our YouTube page. Follow the podcast at KDFL Podcast. And for Jonathan Detroit Haynes, for that traitor, Captain Phil, wherever he may be, gets a random shout out right now. And for the Zenful, Matt Smith, everybody have a happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you here next week on the KDFL Dynasty Football Podcast.